Alright, hello everyone. At long last, today we're gonna be playing Fragile by EndLevel and More. This level is very hard. It's around top 60. If you don't know, Fragile is just a more balanced version of Coeretta with a 40-second long extension at the end. So it's very difficult. I will give a disclaimer that I beat Fragile on the 2.1 GDPS, but I'm going to be playing it on 2.2 to show it to you guys. I just wanted to let you guys know that I beat it on a 2.1 GDPS. Without further ado though, I'm going to go into Fragile and give you guys some tips and tricks on how to beat it. The beginning of Fragile is very similar to Coeretta. I'm going to treat this though as if it's its own level and that I never gave the Coeretta tutorial, so any tips and tricks I have will just be fresh and new here. This first click is obviously really hard. It's the infamous Coeretta first click. I'm pretty sure it's a 240 hertz frame perfect, so it's just gonna be really hard to pass it every attempt, but for some reason it does get consistent. The first change in Fragile is this blue orb right here where you actually have to hit it pretty late, and it's not that bad of a change honestly. This weird dual section right here works the same as it did in Coeretta. You just want to hit the yellow orb at the very top in the middle and then hold. That's all you have to do for that. You don't really have to worry about clicking any more times than that. A tip I showed in my Coeretta completion is that the normal route is to hit all of these orbs, but you don't really have to in both Coeretta and Fragile because you can just skip this blue orb. That blue orb skip is one of the best skips you can do in my opinion. Besides this green orb click right here though, the rest of this is pretty similar to Coeretta. And just like Coeretta, this level is very reliant on your muscle memory, so make sure you're practicing this level a lot. I typically don't recommend over practicing on levels because it could generally just waste your time, but with Fragile and Coeretta, these are levels that you really want to over practice just because of how muscle memory dependent they are. You typically would want to do like a low 30 to 100 run or like a 20 to 100 run on these levels if you can, but if you still don't like doing that, then you don't have to. Now this slower part in Fragile is very reliant on holding after each click because of all the slopes there are. It's not really that bad. In Coeretta, this part was a lot harder, but they nerfed it in Fragile to make the Coeretta part of Fragile more consistent, so it's not really that bad. Right here, I don't know why anyone does it, but you can click this black orb really early to do a swag route if you want, where you just jump over that. The most recommended route though is that, but if you really want to be funny, you can do that swag route. But besides that, for the pre-drop, there's not much I can say because it's very linear. You just really have to over practice it. Now right here, we're at the drop. This is what I consider to be the hardest part of the level. There's not much for me to say here though, because a lot of this is just reliant on you learning it. And that's the thing I hate about learning levels. I can't really give a proper tutorial for them. There's like no click pattern suggestions I can give or anything like that. It's just down to what you prefer. Actually, one thing I will say is that the ship right here, it's better done in 2 clicks than any more. 2 clicks is the best amount of clicks you can do for that part. There's 2 ways you can do this ship section right here. You can either hold upon entering the portal, hit the pink orb a bit late, and then hold into the next cube portal, or you could press as soon as you enter the portal and hold, and then just adjust your straight fly to that. It just depends on what you like doing right there. Most of these straight flies in Fragile can be done with 1 click, so don't worry about clicking too many times when you're doing them. For instance, this straight fly right here, this can be done in 1 click. Now we're onto the extension, nicknamed Shibiretta. The extension isn't as hard as the first half, but it's still very hard and very difficult to learn, and that's probably just because of how CPS heavy this part is compared to the original part of Coeretta. But like in the Coeretta part, there's not much for me to say about it just because of how consistent and muscle memory reliant it is. In my opinion, this is the true far point of Fragile past these 2 pink orbs, but the ship swoop down isn't that good, and that's because of the fixed hitboxes. I will go on a rant really quickly with Fragile and say that there's a lot of fixed hitboxes in this level and I do not like them. It's not really that fun. This UFO section right here, there's multiple click patterns you could do for it, such as the one I just pulled off there, where you do 1 click per portal. But the most consistent thing I found was to do 2 clicks at the beginning of the UFO, do 1 click into the blue portal, and then just finish it up. That's a very consistent click pattern that I'd highly recommend. Alright, right here we're at Minox's part. Minox's part is the most chokeable part in this whole level, just because it slows down the level when the entire level was already fast. I know that's not Minox's fault, because this was intended to be in a separate level called Shibiretta, but I really do not like this pacing for Fragile, especially because it just, I don't know, the whole level's fast until this point. I don't really like it. And another annoying part about this thing is the screen flashes. The screen flashes, they aren't really that good, let's be honest. The ending isn't really that hard. Most people can probably do the ending. It just depends on your nerve control. If you have bad nerve control, you're gonna hate this part. But if you don't mind, but if you have good nerve control, you'll definitely be able to do this part. For this wave part right here, I've seen people do multiple things. I've seen people do like 3 clicks like this. Or you could do what I do, and I just do 2 clicks like that. It's very consistent, and you almost never die to this wave if you do that click pattern, so I definitely just highly recommend that. And then right here, we have a final straight flight to the end. Alright, that was Fragile. I'll leave my opinions for after the video, and make sure you stick around for the end of the video because I have a few things to say about Fragile, and you'll definitely notice one of them at the end of the completion. But yeah, that's all I have to say for now. Thanks for watching. Alright, you may be wondering why you don't hear a reaction right now. That is because, as a part of me probably being the unluckiest victor of Fragile, my shadow play captured neither the desktop and the microphone audio. And let me tell you why. So for some reason, the wire I used for my headphones back in the day unplugged very easily. I could either tap them with my feet or just hit them with my leg and they would disconnect. And I don't know if it was just my NVIDIA or if everybody's NVIDIA shadow play does this, but when my headphones get disconnected, for some reason, it just stops recording both audio tracks, the desktop and the microphone audio. And this is the funny thing, the fix for this is actually really easy. You just have to disable and re-enable the clipping software. Me, unaware of this at the time, didn't do that. At the time, this had already happened to me with some completions such as Acu or Moment. Moment I live streamed though, so I can make that up really easily, and Acu's an easy extreme, so I was able to beat it fast. But it's kind of funny that of all the Fragile clips I have saved on my computer, the one clip that the audio didn't record is the completion. Yeah. That being said, that definitely does mark me as the unluckiest Fragile victor on top of the stats, which I'm gonna link below in the description. But with that all being said, there is still hope. I do plan on rebeating Fragile with clicks just for legitimacy and, you know, getting a record on the all-rated Extreme Demons list. But I will also be only including that completion in my Fragile Rewind video. That will come out whenever I rebeat Fragile, whenever that is, because I have a lot of clips on my computer of Fragile that I want to share to you guys. If you need any legitimacy at all for me having beaten Fragile, feel free to look in the description of this video where it says completion with clicks. Instead of completion with clicks, I'm going to have my raw footage there, which is not going to have any audio, but it's uploaded on YouTube, so feel free to check that out if you don't believe me. But yeah, I'm just going to go on with my normal outro. Alright, that was Fragile. The amount of things that happened during this completion can't really be summed up with just this one video. That's gonna be shown in Fragile Rewind, because trust me, this level was more than just a gaming journey. It was also a personal journey and just a lot of things that I really want to share to you guys, but I pretty much will only feel comfortable sharing that with Fragile Rewind. Besides that though, in terms of enjoyment, I gave Fragile a 4 out of 10. Despite how unlucky I got with this level, I still enjoyed it. It's just that my luck brought this level much down. If I got moderate, normal luck with this level, I'm pretty sure the enjoyment would have been an 8 or 9 out of 10. but my luck just brought the enjoyment of this level down for me a lot. The gameplay did flow together really well, and I really did enjoy the click sync or just overall timings of the parts. It felt really consistent, but overall the gameplay is just very strange. It all feels out of place together, Shibaretta and Koaretta, so I didn't really like the juxtaposition. In terms of decoration, I gave Fragile an 8 out of 10. I love core styles, and Art Core is no exception. I think this level did its decoration very well as a revamped Koaretta, and there's not much else for me to say about it. I do like the designs and a lot of the parts, and the saw blade design at the beginning is very good. Other than that though, that was Fragile. I'll catch you guys whenever Fragile Rewind comes out. Trust me, it might take a while, it might not, who knows. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and have a good day.